I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna see if I can lighten this video after do it in editing. Don't know if that's possible, so we'll see. You may never see this video. Aloha. Just found out that our building is right next to the convention center here in town, and just found out that tour buses are parking in front of our building and dropping people off. And it's like, no wonder we can never get out of the driveway. A lot of people do walk from down further in Waikiki. They walk from their hotel down, but blocking an intersection. I'm gonna do a rant video, I swear. I'm just waiting for one thing to be able to do it. I have to go out to Kapolei and meet the sign guy, and hopefully I'll be early. Traffic is going to be bitch. At this time of the morning, everybody, once I get past Honolulu, it'll be fine, but going through Honolulu, because everybody's coming into town for work, so at least I won't be hitting the traffic that's coming from the other direction. Oh, getting on the freeway is going to be hard. Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, crap. I should probably just get in the other lane now and suck it up. Okay, relax. We had a lot of rain last night, and I was afraid it was going to be raining today. Oh, okay. God, it looked like she had on some sort of weird, like 40s Japanese military uniform. It was a hotel-made uniform. It just, she had this weird little cap on with it, and not part of the uniform, but the cap made it look like some kind of weird uniform. And maybe my headache is affecting me more than I thought it was. I do have a little bit of a migraine this morning, but I think it's a stress migraine because it started as I was thinking about, I realized I was going to make myself a big cup of coffee at home this morning and just drive straight to Kapolei, and I realized I didn't have any coffee at home. So I decided to go into work real fast, make a cup of coffee, and just drop a couple things off that I had in the car, and you know, like that. So, you know, 5 minutes, bing bang boom, back in the car and go. And as I was like thinking about, I guess, gathering all my stuff in the car that I wanted to take up to the office, and I was like stressing myself out, you know, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta get everything, gotta go. And then the headache started, just a very sharp pain right up through here. And so now I'm trying to relax. I got my coffee, I'm on the road, and even though there's going to be a lot of traffic, there is a lot of traffic. I'm already in a lot of traffic. I've got to get over within the next 2 lights, and there's no place to move over. Some days I think I shouldn't drive. I should just take the bus, but then I wouldn't be able to do my job. So And the bus is even worse. That's why I drive, because I took the bus for 3 years, and the bus drove me to drive. The bus, I mean, you know, when you first get here, the bus is great. It's awesome. And I imagine it's a lot better than a lot of other places that has the bus. We didn't really have a bus where I was. They had started one at one time, and it just went up and down the highway. It didn't go anywhere else. My daughter tells me now it goes a lot of other places. She rides it. And I'm over. And so, you know, back then, you know, and they only started that bus route like a year before I left. So for 20 some odd years, I was in places that had, or actually like 30 years, I was in places that had no bus. And so if you did not have a car, you walked. You know, if I was, there was one point I was out of work and I had to walk everywhere to find work, and that sucked. You know, I was just at a low point in my life where I didn't have a car. I had a lease on a car. I lost my job, and then the lease ran out because I didn't have a job. I wasn't able to get a loan for another car, and so I'll never lease a car again because that's too easy to happen. Anybody can lose their job, and it just, you know, through no fault of their own, you just get laid off. It just happens, you know. You get laid off, your building burns down. There are so many reasons you can lose your job that have nothing to do with you. So anyway, our buses, I go off on these tangents. Our buses are really pretty good, I guess, but you kind of get to a point where you get tired of late buses and of sitting next to the guy that tries to fill you up, and sitting next to homeless people that smell like they've been dumpster diving for the last week, and people that have been fishing and bring their fish on the bus, and people that are coughing and hacking up a lung next to you, and you know, you don't know what kind of germs they're flailing out when they're coughing, and then I've had buses actually pass me by because they're too full, so I'm waiting another hour for the next bus. And if you miss a bus by just a minute, you have to wait another hour for the next bus. If you're on a smaller line, which I've always lived on the smaller lines, I have to take the main bus and then transfer to a smaller line to go up. And then when the last straw was when the bus that I have to ride to get home, the small line, changed its route and didn't notify anybody. It wasn't a printed change. And I just said, oh, that's too much. I can't do this anymore. You know, and the kicker was that because they didn't tell anybody, nobody knew, hey, I can get off this one and take that one and get there faster. Yeah. We had one where there's an annual Christmas parade that blocks off the street, and so there was a representative from the bus. Our bus is called The Bus. There was a representative from the bus that was standing there at the corner saying, yeah, the bus is going to come, just wait there. And so we're all standing there at the corner waiting, and next thing you know, the bus instead of coming down at our corner, it comes up the street the other way and turns up the hill, bypassing us completely. And oh, I was pissed. I was on crutches. I had bags with me. There was no way in hell I could walk up that hill. And with traffic the way it was going to be another hour and a half before the next bus came. And this representative from the bus put his phone up to his head and pretended like he was on the phone for the next hour. He just kept putting his hand up every time I tried to go up and talk to him, because he already knew I was pissed. And that was like one of the last times. And then when they changed the route just a few weeks later, I was like, oh, that's it. That is it. I'm not doing this anymore. And I went and I bought a car. And haven't looked back since. I don't necessarily like having the payments on the car, but you know what? It's so much easier. My day has been cut down by an hour and a half. So, you know, I can get to work in 20 minutes, get home in 20 minutes. It used to take me over an hour on the bus. So, the way I see it, if I've cut my day by an hour and a half, you know, this is not bad. I expected traffic to be stop and go, but I'm just going, so far at least. Well, it's getting kind of warm. I wish I hadn't worn the jacket. I had it on defrost earlier on heat to get all the stuff off the window. It was because it rained last night. The window was, what do you call it? Fogged over. I was thinking frosted, and I knew that wasn't right. I haven't had frosted windows in years. Hallelujah. I have not had to clean snow off my car. Do not miss that at all. Forward collision warning. There's nobody in front of me for, like, it must be angled wrong. Chinatown, sort of. It's like way back over there. I should do that sometime. Take you through Chinatown. That is fun. I love shopping in Chinatown. In fact, there's some things I want to get for the new year, the new lunar year. It's awful gray and cloudy and looking over towards Kapolei. As long as it doesn't rain, then we're fine. They can't install the signs if it's raining. And I've got my phone here next to me in case he calls to tell me he's not making it, then I can just turn around and go back. Starting to go away. A little caffeine, a little relaxing, not stressing. And I've got a whole hour to get there, so I'm not stressed about being late. Which is unusual for me. You know, I swear, I'll leave early for somewhere and then somehow I'm late. I don't know how it works. You know. Wow, it's bright in that tunnel at night. There's this little short tunnel that goes through to come out under the where you change freeways. You go from one freeway to the other, and it goes like underground for just a couple hundred feet. And I always drive it during the day. You know, so it's just a tunnel. I don't know. But seeing it this time of the day when it's still kind of dark out, and it's like, wow, that was bright. I need a second camera. Maybe I should put up my work camera. A second camera so I can film like what I'm looking at out there. And then you can see like when I say, oh, it looks like so and so. Oh, look at the rainbow. And I can actually show you what I'm looking at. I can cut the two in together. I'm hoping to get a MacBook that I can start doing video editing on. I have a CD that's closing, and I have to pay off all the, first thing is pay off all the medical and the credit cards, and then put aside some for a house, you know, like the security and the rental fees for a house, and then and moving costs, because I'm not going to move myself. I gotta hire somebody off Craigslist or something. Then, you know, once I get stuff, and then my car needs a couple of repairs, so I have to find somebody to do that. I'm not paying a shop to do it because I know how much the parts cost. The parts are like less than $50, and they'll charge me $350 to do it, and I'm not going to do that. So I have to find somebody else that will do it for like beer and pizza or something. But once I get everything that I need to pay paid, I want to see if I can afford a MacBook after that. That's kind of my goal, and so we'll see if it happens. It seems like every day there's something new that comes up that I have to pay, and so I'm not sure if there's going to be anything left. The whole goal of the CD, I've had it sitting there for 2 years, and I haven't been able to touch it. You know, when I had my financial problems earlier, I couldn't break into it. And the whole goal of it was to buy a house. Well, the problem with that is that it's not enough for a down payment on a house, and I have no way of, at this point, I have no way of putting more into it. So, that whole thing just like went kablooey. You know, the cancer just kind of screwed that whole idea up. and I found out that I went through this. There's this agency which is apparently all over the mainland, but we're just getting it here, and it's called NACA, N-A-C-A, and they help first-time home buyers. And so I went to an orientation meeting, and then I sat down with one of the counselors, and she put all my numbers into the computer, and based on my income and my debts at the time, I would only qualify for a $200,000 home. Well, this is Hawaii. The median home price is $800,000. You can't even get a condo for $200,000. So I don't know that you can even get a parcel of land for $200,000. So that whole thing, I mean, even with my wage increase and paying off my bills, it's not going to help. The one thing, because I have a student loan, I have a $40,000 plus student loan hanging out there, and I have no way to get rid of that. So that's going to be with me when I die, basically, you know. I mean, it's like every month I make my payments and it just goes to interest. So the principal just isn't getting worked down. And that's a whole other rant video, the student loan. Uh-oh, here we go, traffic. But, you know, I went to that in the fall, I think it was. Yeah, I want to say it was like late summer, early fall. And so once I found that out, that I could only qualify for like $200,000. I mean, even with my wage increase and paying off all my other bills, I'm not going to be, you know, okay, maybe I'll get a $300,000 home. But it's still not going to do anything in Hawaii. So, oh God, it's pouring rain here. Hopefully we'll just drive through it and Kapolei will be dry. So when my CD, I started getting the messages on my CD coming up, I started thinking the best thing, you know, rather than reinvesting it, the best thing would be to cash it out and pay all these credit cards and medical bills that I'm paying exorbitant fees on in interest, and, you know, get those paid off, get my credit back in shape, and yeah, just rent. I am never going to be a homeowner. So, although I was looking at, they finally came out with our Lunar New Year calendar in the newspaper, and it's put together by, because we're big on Chinese culture here, the paper has actually hired somebody who knows all this stuff to put together the calendar and the predictions for the year. And so I love this calendar. It's actually gorgeous, but I hang it in my kitchen, and that's my calendar. But so when I stopped and I was putting it, I finally put it up last night. We got it last week, and I put it up last night. And I was reading my predictions for the year, and it just has like a one-paragraph prediction. But it says I'm going to come into a cash windfall. And it's like, okay, that's probably my CD, which isn't really a windfall because it's always been mine. I'm just kind of getting access to it now. So, I don't know. Maybe it means I'll win that Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes this year. Yeah, I know. Right, a Rooney. Of course, cash windfall could be, you know, my $200 tax return that used to be $2,000 and now it's $200. Uh-oh, flashing lights. Oh dear. Oh, they're on the other side. Oh, I hope nobody's hurt. Of course, it's an ambulance. Somebody's hurt. I hate that. My heart like starts to constrict when I see ambulances because somebody's hurt. I'm like, oh, I don't want anybody to be hurt. Ooh, look at that low fog. Oh, now I wish you could see that. That looks cool. It looks like smoke just hanging over the hill, on the hills, on the side of the hills. I wish I could get up the other phone and take pictures of it, but can't do it while I'm driving. And we know from yesterday's drive that I cannot turn the camera or it's going to pop out of that holder. To try and turn on the camera. I have to enter my passcode and then find the camera, turn it on the video, try and put it in the holder. Yeah. Maybe I could just turn it like this and have you see it when I go by. Maybe I can do that. From up here as it did from back there. And I don't know if I'll even be able to see it because we're so close. Yeah, I think we're going to pass it. We've got the berm up here, and so that's not gonna fly. sirens. Oh, jeez. That's not good. That one had sirens on. Of course, I was trying to get through traffic, too. Oh, there it is. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, it's all washed out, isn't it? Out. I don't know that that's going to show up on camera. And there's another ambulance that got on ahead of me. Now I loosened this. When I twisted it around, I got it loose. Now it's wobbling. And I can't use both hands to it's raining and I'm almost here. Great. Of course, it's still 45 minutes till I'm supposed to meet them, so maybe it will stop. Maybe. It's not raining hard, it's just kind of, in fact, maybe it's just spray from the other vehicles because it rained earlier. Hard to tell. Check Craigslist while I'm up here, see if there are any houses I can go look at. Although I don't have my money yet, but I think I'll wait until I have my money in hand before I start looking. It's no use to look when you don't have the money. Because then you find something you love and you don't have the money and it disappears before you get the money, so. Oh, look at that, it's turning. Shoot. And the coffee's making me hot now. God, I still have that itchy skin thing. When I get hot, my skin itches. Oh. That was on my other channel. I'll see if I can put in a link and direct you to that episode. Oh, God. Now it's raining a little bit. It's just sprinkling, kind of. I've got other stuff to do out here, but I don't want to walk around and do it in the rain. I have to put stickers on things, and I don't want to be trying to do it in the rain. Well, there is kind of a patch of blue sky up ahead. So as long as that's coming this way and not going the other way, we should should be good. I looked at the weather app this morning before I left the office, and it said, actually before I left home, and it said it was supposed to be sunny. Actually, there was like one sun and then it got cloudy. Sunny but cloudy. This is not sunny but cloudy. This is cloudy and rainy. Oh, if you watched the driving one where I did the rainbow, sorry about the windshield wipers. I was like trying to cut those out, but they came too fast and I couldn't drive without them because it was raining too hard and I couldn't see out the window. So they kind of got left in a few times. I did cut some out, but yeah, sorry about that. I know when I first saw it, it was like, what? It kind of like made me dizzy. Oh, I'm at a light. I can see if I can tighten this up. Nope, I missed something. Oh, maybe it's the upper one. Here should be nobody here at this hour because it's a retail center and it's 7:20 in the morning. So I should have the place all to myself. Oh, look at that. One abandoned vehicle that we're trying to get rid of. Just the janitor. Wow, nice and quiet. Okay, so I am here. I am gonna see if I can do what I can do. It looks like it's just raining, just like very lightly sprinkling a few drops. So I'm gonna see if I can get some things done before my meeting, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Well, it was fine. It was overcast and we were walking around going over the signage, and then it started raining. They're gonna do what they can do under the eaves because there are a lot of signs that they have to put up on the buildings, so they'll get those done and hopefully it'll clear up and let them do the ones that they have to do out in the open. So I am on my way back to the building. It did not take as long as it felt. I got my light poles numbered, which sounds bizarre, but something you gotta do. Although the numbers weren't sticking, I cleaned them off and then tried to dry them off with a napkin. You know, but they were wet from the rain, and I don't know that they're gonna stick that well. Hopefully, and I still have a little bit of coffee left. It's just barely warm. You know, why is it we like iced coffee, but we don't like room temperature coffee? Of stuff I have to go back to the office to finish. Yay! I don't know why why, but I feel like I've been playing catch up for like 2 weeks. And I know I'm not. It's just like new stuff keeps coming up. I don't know. Got my protein bar. Clearing up towards town. I wish I could have the radio on, but criminy. I must be going 75. Oh, how I want to rant. Oh boy. But I can't post that rant video until after I have something done on my car, because otherwise I might get pegged. Yeah, she's the one who did the rant about us. Let's go ticket her. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Right, I just did, didn't I? What is that? That is a new bus. Is that one of the electric buses? I was just talking about the buses, and there's this new bus design. Maybe it's an old bus, because it's all cracked. I have never seen this bus design before. Interesting. I'm going to have to look that up. I noticed it because it had weird lights on the back. And then the paint was different, but the paint is all cracked. And they did get an electric bus a few months ago, but it wouldn't have the paint all cracked and everything yet. So this must be an old bus. Number 34, it's got to be an old one. Interesting. My GPS will get it. I'll try and look it up later. Oh, I have to add safety inspection to my list of things to have done on the car. Crap. I have to have the brake pads changed, and I have to get the oil changed. Mostly I need to find somebody who can do it for me that isn't going to charge me $300 for labor. Go to my other property today, but it's probably raining there too, because if it's raining here, it's raining now. I mean, like where I am right now, it's kind of a little wet. So and I have to do the same thing at the other property where I go around and put numbers on the light poles. And that's just so that if there's a problem with a light pole, we can direct the electrician to the right light pole. You know, we can say it's the number 10 light pole that's by Starbucks, and they can go find it easy enough. We don't have to say, oh, it's the one at the end of the drive-through that's 10 paces off to the left, and you know. So, and then either that or I have to go out and meet them for 5 minutes just to point to the light pole and say that's the one. So although I'm kind of wondering if these numbers are going to stick. They're supposed to be outdoor numbers, but when I was putting them on, they were kind of sliding around a little bit, and it could be that they just have to adhere. You know, they just need time to adhere. So I'll see on Monday when I go back out if they're still there. If not, I'm not going to put them up at the other property. I'll have to get some tougher numbers. Now I have stress nail on my hands. Sanitizer, Bath and Body. You know, I love these Bath and Body ones, but I've discovered the spray ones. Everyone has a spray, and who else do I have? It's, no. I've been told Mrs. Myers is a really good spray hand sanitizer, but I can't find it here. What's the one I have? It's Simple? I can't remember. But that's a really nice one. I think that's the one that's lavender. I like them when they're really lightly scented. Not heavy, but lightly. The only problem I have with the spray ones is that you spray it on one hand and then you have to spray it on the other hand. And so you've got this spray on your hand and you have to take the bottle and spray it on your other hand, and your hand is wet from the sanitizer. So that's kind of a... But it's kind of neat because, like, my hands were dirty and I had my keys in my hand. So I cleaned my hands and then I sprayed my keys. And I was thinking, gee, you can do your phone and everything. I don't know how good it is for the phone to spray something into it, but, you know. And the bottle doesn't fit in my car. I had this little cubby down under the armrest that these little bottles fit just perfectly. I guess it's, I don't know what the cubby is for. Oh God, I just dropped it. Crap. I don't know what the cubby is for, just coins or something. But that little bottle fits perfectly, and the spray bottles don't fit. They're too thick. So I keep the Bath and Body in here, and I use it quite a bit in here. Mostly when I'm out at the properties and my hands get dirty after being, you know, when I'm doing the inspections and I'm out touching things and opening doors, and so my hands get dirty, and I'll just use that when I'm done and feel clean again. Now I'm hitting traffic because it's still only 8:40, so people that have to be at work at 9 o'clock, who goes to work at 9 o'clock anymore? But all the town traffic. Of which I am now today. Usually I bypass all this, but well, I take that back. If I'm going home, I bypass it, but usually if I'm going home, I'm not in it, because I'm going home later in the day, you know, like after a doctor's appointment at 6 o'clock at night or something like that. But after the inspections, it's usually later in the morning, and so there isn't the traffic that there is at this time of day. And so, right lane closed. Oh, not today. So this is not usual for me. This is late traffic, and it's still like this. Can you imagine what it's like at 7, 8 o'clock? Yeah. And it's actually, let's see, I used to live in Kaneohe, and I would sometimes drive the Jeep in over the Like, and I would do fine until I got on the freeway here on the H1, and then it would kind of stop up. It wouldn't be really bad though, it just kind of, I mean, you move, it's kind of like now, you know, you're moving, but you're only going like 25, 30 miles an hour, so you know, that's better than stop and go. Oh, look, the Hawaii News Now van. Maybe we'll be on the news. Let's hope not. You know, I realize sometimes they are the only ones that report on things that happen. I don't know why. I'll look for it in the Star Advertiser. You know, I have the apps on my phone, and I look for it in the Star Advertiser, and I look for it on the KHON News, and they don't have anything on it, but Hawaii News Now will. Very odd. Then I also made the mistake of downloading the Bend, Oregon News app because my daughter lives there, and then like these horrific things happen. It's like, it wasn't you, was it? Oh my God. And I'm, you know, texting her, are you okay? It's like, and one of them was actually, it didn't show a picture of the apartment building, but it was on the street where she lives. And so I was like freaking out. A woman was killed at this apartment complex, and so I was kind of freaking out. Or no, it wasn't, it just gave the general vicinity. It was like, you know, over by Costco or something. And so it was like, you know, northwest, and so I'm like going, oh my God, and trying to, you know, are you okay? You know, let me know you're okay. And screenshot her the article, you know, saw this, oh my God. And she's like, no, that's where I lived before you moved to Hawaii though. It's like, oh my God. So yeah, I'm trying to get her to move over here, because that, you know, what was really a quiet little town when I moved there is really kind of not so quiet and so little anymore. miss my grandkids. I haven't seen my granddaughter. You know, my grandson came over last year for my surgery, but I haven't seen my granddaughter since I moved here. Yeah, I'd take that whole CD if I could. You know, if they said, okay, we'll move, I'd take that whole CD and pay for them to come over here. And yeah, forget anything else. We'll just rent a house. It's big enough for all of us. There's some trees up here by the airport, and I'm just waiting for them to turn. They bloom and they go this bright yellow, and it's like the whole top of the tree goes yellow. It is so gorgeous, and they have like a whole row of them, and they just sort of poke out because it's a double-decker highway, and so this is the top of the highway, and so you just see the top of the tree, just the yellow, and it's so cool when you drive down there, and it's just this yellow all the way down. And so I want to film it, but the blooms only last for like a week. It's a very short-term bloom, and so I have to watch for it every time I go. And I tried to get it last year, but I didn't have a way to hook up my phone yet, and I was just trying to get it on my GPS, and it just did not come out. It's too far away, and I couldn't get the angle right, and it has all the GPS info on it that I have not been able to figure out how to mask out, or even to zoom in on just the trees using the software that I have, which is another reason for getting the MacBook, because I would get some better software with that. You know, it just comes inherent in the MacBook, I think. I'm actually going to go to the Apple store and look at it before I buy, but you know, I'm going to look at the MacBook and at the iPad. I think I want to go with the MacBook just for editing. The iPad would be easier to carry around, and you know, I would be able to use it in place of my Kindle for reading. But you know, I was thinking I could use the MacBook for that too. And later on, I can get just the cheap iPad. I don't have to get the high-end iPad. Whereas if I were going to use this as an everything tool, I would have to get the high-end iPad. So, you know, for less than $1,000 more, I could get the MacBook and have all the editing tools and be able to take it with me, you know. And so, you know, it just kind of, it made more sense to go with the MacBook, but I still want to do a final evaluation and see. I mean, I've just looked at them online. I don't know. I may not have only learned like the 5 basic clouds or whatever they are, the cumulus, the stratus, but I can't remember what's what anymore. Oh, here we go again. You know, that's one thing I wish my GPS had on screen is a clock, because this LCD clock in my truck sucks. You can't see it unless it's at a certain angle or at night and the light is on it. But during the day, and unless you're at a certain angle, you can't see it. If I have my sunglasses, I can't see it. It's really bad. I don't know who designed this clock, but it sucks. I've thought about just getting a little clock to stick on the dash. I've also wanted to get a wristwatch, but I have such problems with wristwatches. It has to be a winding wristwatch. Wow, look at that. Ooh. It's a ghost. Ooh. I can't have batteries in my wristwatch because there's something about my skin or my body makeup, my chemistry, I don't know, that kills batteries. It only takes about 6 months for a watch battery to go dead on me. And I used to have this really cool, I still have it, it's in my storage locker in Oregon. It's a Disney watch that plays It's a Small World After All, and I would have to get that battery changed every 6 months, and that's a special battery. You have to go to a jeweler and have them take the watch apart and put a new battery in. You can't just buy a battery and stick it in. Because of the way it plays the music, they have to take it apart and put it back together. So it got expensive and I stopped wearing it. But so it's really hard to find just a self-winding watch or a winding watch, just something that's not battery operated. And sometimes I see one somewhere and I think, oh, that's cool, but it's like $100. You can't just buy a Timex anymore that is going to be self-winding. And so, and plus the designs, I'm all about the design. I want something feminine. I don't want a big bulky man watch kind of thing. The only reason I wear a Fitbit is because I was able to get this bracelet. If I had to wear that strappy, like the iWatch is that big bulky man thing. I do not like that. I don't want to wear that. I am, everything about me is so unfeminine that I need to have the feminine details. And so that's why I'm always wearing earrings, and I try to always wear a necklace. I used to always wear rings and bracelets, and after the chemo, or actually it was after the radiation, and they started bothering me. I'm still trying to get back into it, but I cannot. I hate it when I forget earrings. It drives me nuts. I actually keep an extra pair at work in case I forget. And so I've got to have the touches of femininity. And wearing a big bulky man watch just does not cut it for me. I can't do that. So it's like people go on about Rolex and stuff like that. There's nothing feminine about a Rolex to me. Nothing at all. I do not see the appeal. here's where traffic gets bad. I've got to see if I can get something on these lips. I don't know if I can drive and do this, but I'm gonna try. I bought this this little tinted, can't see it in this light, this tinted Vaseline, because I thought, oh, I mean, my lips look a little rosy pink. No, it doesn't. Don't bother paying for that. They put extra gunk in it and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't work as well as the regular Vaseline. As soon as that thing is gone, I'm just getting the regular Vaseline to carry around. I wish I could wear lipstick. That's one thing that would help with femininity. But my lips just don't take to it. I have this whole big thing of lipsticks at home, and I've actually given away a lot of them, and I still have a whole bunch. I've probably given away 3 times as much as I have just over the last few years. I know when my daughter was here, I gave her a bunch, and they dry out my lips. My lips just like crack, and some of them actually crack my lips. But I just can't. I don't know why. I just have to do the Vaseline. Christ. We almost got to see an accident. Yeah, somebody suggested one time do sugar scrub on your lips, and like it, after you do the sugar scrub for a few weeks, then your lips kind of like readjust or something, and you can start using lipsticks on them. No. And I've done like 3 brands of sugar scrub, and while I like sugar scrub, it tastes good. It doesn't do anything for my lips. In fact, the one I have right now seems to dry my lips out more. 10 minutes after I put it on, I have to put Vaseline on because my lips are so dry. So, and I don't know if it's just because I've been putting Vaseline on my lips since I was, like 10 or 12. Or I don't know. But even when I was a teenager, and I really liked Dr. Pepper. That's always been my drink, is Dr. Pepper. Oh God, big deep pothole. Oh God, I just narrowly averted it. Dr. Pepper has always been my drink, and they started doing the Dr. Pepper lip balm, and so I would buy that. Friends would buy it for me, for Christmas and stuff like that, and I would do that, and it would actually kind of like make my lips burn, and I still used it, but it was it dried my lips out so bad that they would kind of burn. And oh look, my mouth is like right in the middle of the square. And and that was when I was, like 13, 14. So, in fact, even younger, because junior high. So, I think I've just kind of always had like sensitive lips or something. I don't know. And as I've gotten older, my top lip has just disappeared down. I used to actually have a lip. I don't know what happened to it. One day I looked at one of the videos I was doing, it's like, I don't have a lip. Where'd it go? Not a clue. So if you're young, beware of that. You're gonna lose your lips. Just learn how to shape them and apply lipstick. It's kind of the same thing with skin altogether. Take care of it while you're young. God, I never did mine, and boy, I'm paying for it now. Almost back to work. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I will be glad not to be driving anymore. Just be at work. But then I gotta work. My headache did go away, by the way. It hasn't come back, at least. I think a combination, oh God, here I go again. The combination of caffeine and just kind of relaxing a little bit and not stressing myself so much. I wonder what's going on at the convention center. There were a lot of people going over there early this morning. You know, like 6:30. I need another cup of coffee. I always need coffee. That's just a given. Looks like there's still people going over there. Oh yeah, they got lanyards. Oh, I'm at work. I'm just parking and putting on my shoes. Totally forgot I had the camera running. Okay, I gotta go up to work now, so I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.